welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I actually want to do a review on this urban fiction that has been taking up my time. I finally finished it, and it is Ethics by Ashley Antoinette. Now, oh my goodness, this was beyond a roller coaster ride. So I wanted to read Ethics because after I saw PETA from Comfy Cozy Up talk about it, I'm like, let me read it. And I finally did, and now I realize, okay, this now I realize how hooked you can get on this series. Now, this series is talking about ethics. His real name is Ezra Okafor, but everybody calls him Ethics. Ethics, you don't play with him. He, don't mess with Ethics. He has 3 kids, a little boy, a girl, and then an adopted daughter. His adopted daughter, Morgan, is just a hot mess. So you got Bella, you have Easy, the little boy, and then you have Morgan. Morgan has lost her parents, so he took her in. He was involved with Morgan's sister Raven, and she passed too. So, he felt like that obligation, and he really did love Morgan. Morgan got on my nerves the whole series, the whole series. Every time I would see her on them pages, I'm like, oh girl, here we go again. But I had to keep on telling myself, okay, she's 18 years old. She's a child. She don't know no better. So with Ethics, don't mess with him, don't mess with his kids. So something happens where Morgan gets into a horrible situation, and he has to basically fend for her. And when he does, an innocent person is killed. Girl. And basically, that's really the full force of the story. Because of this horrible thing that's happened to Morgan, and he did a certain thing, so many repercussions and actions take place that just leads you down a whole path that's not good. Okay, that's the first part where I want to start with, because the second part is going to be some spoilers. So just know a horrible thing has happened to Ethics' daughter, Morgan, and he has come to basically save her, rescue her, and while he did that, something horrible happened to an innocent person. All right. Now, if you haven't read it, don't watch the rest of it. If you have, guys. Okay. Morgan, I don't fault her for getting raped, okay? Not at all. No one deserves that at all, okay? And my thing is, she didn't know that was going to happen. But at the same time, she got a bad feeling after she came from that 18th birthday party that Ethics threw for her. And she was like, oh, this is not a good idea. I don't think I should go with these 2 boys. And even though her little friend was there, still, she was up to no good. She had the inkling where this is not going to end up well. Let me leave. Of course, she didn't. And then she ended up getting raped. But that part, I was like, okay, I understand that. Yeah. And that, my heart went out to her. But it was her not really caring about what happened, or her actions. Ethics literally killed a person, killed 2 people, and killed a little girl. He didn't know. He didn't mean to kill that baby. But he killed 2 people and an innocent person because of you, And my thing is, Lucas, the guy that raped her, he needed to be killed. I didn't care. But because I listened to the first and second book, when Ethics came into the house and the little girl was in front of Lucas, and he just shot him, I really wish he would have tapped him and be like, bruh, I know what you did, and just shot him. Because my thing is, he just went into the house and he I'm not saying nothing, I'm just shooting this man. And that's exactly what he did. But a little baby got murdered. Okay, now let's talk about Alani. I actually liked Alani. I did. She was probably besides Ethics, she was my favorite character, and then after that, probably Bella. But I liked Alani. Only thing that got on my nerves was Alani, every 5 seconds she crying, and then she blew the woods, and then she crying, and then she like, you know, a gangster. That got on my nerves. Also, what got on my nerves too, when they finally got together, it was that back and forth. They're like teenagers. I'm gonna pop up a clip of me reading, and it got on my nerves.
This back and forth with Alani and Ethics is getting on my nerves. Like, oh Lord, they're like little teenagers. I mean, we gonna be together or not?
So as you can see, that got on my nerves. But Alani, for backstory, he accidentally killed Alani's little girl, Kinsey. And she knew that, you know, he didn't mean to do it or whatever. So, and the grandmother knew, or her aunt knew, because Ethics is a really good guy. He just was protecting his family, and someone innocent, you know, which happened to be a baby, had to get killed, which that just took my heart. Like, oh my goodness. But with Alani, it was like, girl, I mean, what do you want to do? Like, you want to be together or not? That just got on my last nerve. And then, okay, so there's 6 books in this series. She really could have narrowed it down to 3 if she wanted to do, I think 3. But if she was going to do like maybe another book, it should have stopped at 4, because all of 6 was so unnecessary. 6 was the last book. I don't know how many times I said this is so unnecessary. When Alani had to kill Dolce, his little, I don't jump off, I don't know what she was, but when she had to kill her, it was just so unnecessary. The whole thing of her, they're going in the house, and like Dolce got the gun and talking all that rah-rah stuff, and you know, Alani being all like cool and collected, but really she's like scared to death, and she ends up like, you know, stabbing her. I'm like, seriously, that just was so unnecessary. Also too, with Bella's birthday party, when Dolce goes and picks up the cake and like goes to Alani's house, he goes to the birthday party, and then they realize that she has the evidence of Ethics killing, you know, the little girl, because she has the shirt. So unnecessary. So unnecessary. Okay, Messiah, it's not that I didn't like him, but I also, it was like I didn't care. I mean, you know, only thing that got on my nerves with him is, you knew that if you told Morgan to jump, she gonna say how high. And Ethics told him, he said, you're a good guy, but you're not good enough for her. You're from the streets. You know, you hustling stuff like that. I don't want that for her. And my thing is, he knew that. He also knew that this girl is in college. And let her do the college thing. Let her go to college and go to school. My thing is, we can be together. We're, you know, we could still kick it. We can be together. But let me, you know, finish college. Let her finish college. As opposed to telling her, oh, you know, let me, I need you to have my baby. She 18. That got on my nerves. When the whole situation, I'm like, oh, this girl about to have a baby. And then he ended up getting sick, and him, you know, not wanting to tell her and all that. Now, another thing that got on my nerves too with Morgan, from, let's see, the 5th book. Yeah, because the 4th book, didn't she try to like commit suicide? And then, yeah, like literally like the last pages. And then the 5th book, it's the whole time she's just like crying. And my thing is, now you know she's pregnant, and then she tried to commit suicide. She knows that he just abruptly left, but she doesn't know that Messiah's sick. But that whole book, we saw every time when Morgan came on the pages, she's crying, and oh, I can't believe Messiah left me, and I can't do anything without Messiah. And oh, she was beyond like whipped. Okay, like he turned that girl out. Okay, but that got on my nerves. I'm like, girl, I'm so sick of her crying and all of that. And then what got me to in the 5th book, because I think the 4th one was my favorite, but wasn't it the 5th book where she was trying to like chuck Alani? Yeah, it was the 5th book, when Alani found out that Ethics is still sending money to what's her name, Yaya or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, don't bring all that crazy in the house, or don't bring all that yelling." And Alani like, "Girl, first of all, you got enough crazy for everybody. Go in your room, okay?" Like, and then she was like, "Let me put you on some game, okay? When you when a man, I ain't gonna say the words that she said because I don't curse, but she was like, when a man, you have the right to do what I'm doing. So, girl, go back to your room, okay? Like, little girl, please." And then like also too, when Alani tried to, because Alani really was, trying to be nice to her, and she knew like, I know this girl not feeling me, let me back up, and she was. But she also told like, Alani, Morgan, like, I know how you feel, like, losing someone and all of that, like I know, and like when she came in the room and was trying to open up the curtains, I thought that what Morgan said about, oh, I don't care about you and your dead baby and all that, like, that was so uncalled for. That honestly was like, girl, please. You can clearly see how I just despise Morgan. Okay. Now let's talk about Bella. I like Bella a lot. A little, 12, 13-year-old kid. And she does, she's a really good kid. She honestly is. Um, and I like the fact that she's so confident in herself. And then the fact that you have a person like Ethics, where he is constantly telling his kids how proud he is, how, handsome and pretty, they are. I just love that, because she knows her worth. And she's only like 12. And by the time the series ends, she's 13. So I really like the way that Ashley Antoinette wrote that. But I like the fact too, again, she told Morgan, like, you're selfish. You only want, Ethics to yourself. He needs to help everybody. And also too, like, let him be with Alani. Okay. He takes care of everyone else. Let him have someone that he loves and adores. And my thing is, just because you don't like her, uh, she can't help that, her brother did that to Morgan. And that's what got on my nerves again with Morgan. Okay. It was like, I'm with Bella. Let him be happy, girl. Like, whew. Okay. So yeah, I did like Bella, and I like the fact too, her little friend, boyfriend, whatever he was, Hendrix or whatever. Um, I'm glad that he was able to get out that little tent, because he was homeless and stuff like that. And I did like that. Easy, he's just so cute and adorable. I love him, and I love the relationship with him and Alani. I love also the relationship with Alani and Bella. That's just so cute. um what else? I mean, this was just, like I said, it was a roller coaster ride. This book's, the way she ends them, they're cliffhangers, so you have to know what, like, you have to get, you know the books, because literally I was like, after I read, the first one, I'm like, oh, I gotta read the second one. I gotta read the third one. I mean, it was just like that, because she leaves them as like cliffhangers. Like in the fourth book, they come, Alani Ethics, they go on this beautiful like long weekend, have this good time, and then they come back home and Morgan has tried to commit suicide, and like it ends like, oh, she has brain damage, and it's like, so yeah, I adore this series. I really did enjoy it. She did, Ashley Antoinette, she did hold on to the series a little bit too long. I mean, she dragged it on forever. But overall, it still was a good series. You got closure. I got what I wanted. I'm glad that they end up getting married. And I know it's a spinoff, but I'm not reading it because it's about Morgan. I actually have the 3 books, and I know the 4th one came out. I know that, oh boy, Messiah not dead. And I know that Alani is gonna have a baby. Because the only thing I cared about really was Alani and Ethics and like Bella and Easy. So yeah, and the fact that I know that Messiah finds out that he has 2 kids, he has them twins. Which was crazy too. Like the first time you get pregnant, you actually, really, she's pregnant with what? 3 babies, and then 1 dies. Well, she thinks that she's pregnant with twins, and then 1 dies, and then really she actually is pregnant with triplets, and so she has 2 babies, girl. That got me. I'm like, dang, your first time? Now, one thing with this series, I want to say trigger warning, where it is, some It's violence. Obviously you have babies getting, you know, murdered. This author, actually Antoinette, does not mind killing women and does not mind killing babies. I think maybe because I'm a woman, I always have a hard time with like authors like killing women and especially babies, but maybe because I'm a female. But with this one, even though that was hard for me, I still was able to digest it. There is a lot of sex. I mean, girl, and the way ethics, he can put it down. You hear me? If he was a real man, oh Lord, I want me ethics. I honestly do. Scratch the you know, I don't want no man that's killing and all that other stuff, and you know, all that. But I want a man like ethics, okay? He got me. It was like the stuff that he did, even though some of the stuff was wrong, it was still like, oh baby, I forgive you. Like that's my, now Peter, I understand when you say your book boyfriend, that's my book boyfriend, okay? That's my book husband, okay? Because I don't want a boyfriend, I want a husband. But overall this series is really good. I would recommend this series to anyone, especially if you love urban fiction. I adore urban fiction. That is my favorite genre. If I don't know what to read or if I'm in a reading slump, I pick up urban fiction book and it gets me where I need to be. And this one did. This is probably my second favorite urban fiction series because nothing is trumping Thug series by Wahida Clark. That's my girls. All them, that's my book. But this series comes close. This is really good. It is so good. That's all, guys. I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because I have been done reading this book for at least about 3 days and I still cannot, you know, I can't keep it out of my head. I honestly can't. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So like I would say, pick it up. Also too, I did read the first two, like I said, on audio, and it was really good. Because I had those for free and I was afraid like, you know, after reading them on audio and I was going to get like, you know, the editions, the paperbacks. I'm like, I wonder how that was going to feel because I was so used to hearing it, but it was no different. And I still have to get the physical first and second copy because you guys know I want to have the whole, you know, collection. And I also love these covers. Like they're so simplistic yet they're just so pretty. Oh my goodness. And these read fast. Like, you know, I said, it's cliffhanger, so you want to know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm a slow reader, but I was reading these like nobody's business, like girl. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. And if you have Wrath Ethics, please tell me your favorite character. And, you know, if you did like the series, if you didn't, like, tell me, because this is a series that you have to talk to people about. So that's all I have for you guys, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.